Okay.
All right, what is up, guys? This is Brandon back with Brandon Coin, and if you notice, this video is going to be a little bit different. This is something Zach was actually trying to talk me into. This is Zack Scriven, and this is episode 1 of hopefully more podcasts to come. So I'll switch the screen over to Zach now, and Zach,
What's up, guys?
yeah, we'll just lead into what you actually do on YouTube and what made you find my channel.
Hey, Brandon, thanks for having me on your channel. I'm super stoked. My channel is all over the place. It's a little bit of everything that is interesting to me. I do some computer programming, which is kind of like my day job. I do some like vlogs, like with me and my daughter. Got really interested in cryptocurrency, like everyone did back in like November, December last year.
Yeah.
I had owned cryptocurrency like back in the day, but I kind of lost interest. Like 2014, I bought 2 Bitcoins, but then I sold them because like it was going downhill, and I'm like, man, everyone lost interest in it, so I just didn't stick with it. I mean, I've been posting videos, since like 2007 across different channels, but I'm really trying to focus now on building a brand, albeit diverse, like with Airbnb and crypto and pretty much everything. So, but today we're here to talk about cryptocurrency because that's how we got connected. I started mining and I found your channel very informative and useful and a source of information. I went to you with a couple questions, you answered them, and it's always cool to get feedback from the man himself. So.
Yeah, well, thank you, and I want to lead right into the nitty gritty. What are you actually mining with and on, and how long have you been running them?
Okay, so right now I'm not mining at all because my computer is my main setup is my streaming computer. So I turned mining off while I'm streaming. I'm actually streaming this on my channel right now. We had a full segment where Brandon and I just kind of chatted about his YouTube channel and kind of had a podcast for my channel. So make sure you guys check that out.
The link for
my streaming, my mining rig is GTX 970, which is what I started mining with back in like early November. And then within a week, I'm like, man, this is making pretty good money. Let me buy a GTX 1070. And so I slapped both those in my rig. And I mean, back in the heyday, after NiceHash hack, like at the time of the NiceHash hack, I had accrued almost enough to get my first payout. I started out going to an external wallet, and I was at like 0.009 Bitcoin, so which at that time was over $100, like $150, and got hacked. Yeah, and then so I wasn't mining for like 2 weeks. I was like, man, should I mine to a specific pool or I'm like, let me just wait. Eventually, NiceHash came back, and then by that time, the payouts were like really high. Like it almost seemed like it kind of built up, and I think it was like $9 a day. My 2 cards were earning is crazy.
Yeah, so, everybody, the payouts there for I'd say pretty much all of December when NiceHash eventually came back, the payouts were like crazy. And in between, I know on my channel, I tried mining Vertcoin and then mining with WindMiner, and I tried a little bit of everything, and still nothing quite came close to NiceHash. So when they came back, I know I was relieved just because of the ease of use and profitability. NiceHash was killing it, knocking it out of the park. But I did want you to talk about, you bought a graphics card, and it ended up being the wrong graphics card. So if you could tell us about that.
Okay, so I was scouring the web for graphics cards, and I created a spreadsheet using the NiceHash stats, basically how much each card was expected to earn, and I input the cheapest price I could find those cards on Amazon to find what was the best card in terms of profitability per price. And because there was like GTX 1080s for like 900, 1000, 1070s for like 800. So everything was kind of all wonky and it wasn't really clear. So I input all the data, and it came down that this 1060 for 400, like 350, $400 was like 114-day payback period at current profitability levels at that time. So I'm like, hey, that doesn't sound that bad. Let me just I rewired some crypto, sold it on the marketplace, and wired it over to my bank account, bought it on Amazon, got to my house. It sat for a few days because I wanted to do a video. And then by the time I did the video, like I installed it and I pulled up NiceHash, and it's like GTX 1050. Like I didn't even notice a difference on my payout. I'm like, well, that's kind of weird. And I looked in the details, and sure enough, it said 1050. And when I pulled it out, I'm like, I should have known, because it just looked really cheap and small. Like the difference between a 1050 and a 1060 is like a 1050 is like not even a gaming card. Like it's
substantial. Yeah, it's noticeable. If you've never seen both of them side by side, I wonder how many people that person or the third party seller had actually scammed or got over on, because I imagine there's tons of people who bought those planning on just maybe gaming with them, and they're gaming away not even realizing it, because when you install the drivers, I don't think it actually tells you. No, it doesn't tell you what card it is.
It's one, the generic driver for all the NVIDIA cards, but to the seller's benefit of their doubt, it could have been someone who bought a 1050 and 1060 and swapped the boxes and sent it back. So
you never know.
But they still should have checked. But I was able to get that sent back, and I'm glad I did, because in hindsight, let's say I did get a 1060 and I kept it. At today's rates, it'd be a long time before that $400 card is paid back. So
yeah.
But granted, I did sell that crypto at somewhat of the peak as well too. So, and this was mid-January, so it wasn't at the peak, but it was lower or higher than it has been in the past. So, and in the way that it worked out when I refunded it, it's actually still the money never made its way back into crypto, but I have since bought a little bit more in the dip. I really like Ethereum. I think it's pretty functional. Like, if we want to just talk about crypto in general, I think Bitcoin is going to maintain the where you keep your store of value. It's not going to be a cryptocurrency per se where you're trading it every day. It's mostly going to be like your savings account, like where a majority of your wealth is, and then you can change a little bit of that into like other coins, maybe a coin specific to a specific industry, or like other coins that are more generic, like Litecoin, that could just be used anywhere.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Do you personally hold a lot of different coins, or are you sticking to like the top three?
So yeah, I own the top three. I don't own any Bitcoin Cash. I'm not a huge believer in that fork. But I do own a couple of the altcoins. But as terms of percentage, it's like 25% of my overall holdings. Mostly it's the big three: Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin are my holdings. The altcoins I own are on Binance. I don't know. I had a little bit of FOMO, fear of missing out. I didn't want like one of these other coins to just take off and not have at least some chance. Obviously there's 600 coins, and one of them could probably go bananas and I'll miss out. But if you don't have a line in the water, you're not going to catch any fish. So.
Oh yeah, exactly. And I think FOMO, or the fear of missing out, like you're talking about, a lot of people fall for that, and I even fell for that, and I bought into like some Ripple and Verge and Cardano. I bought into like everything that everybody's talking about, and I have it. It's just sitting because I am not pulling it out until it's in the profit. So
hold on for dear life.
Oh yeah, I mean it's there. Like I would right now. I hate to say it, but I would rather it go down more
to zero.
I'd rather it go down to zero than pull out, because you never lost money until you sold. So I'm not selling until I'm in the profit.
Yeah. Like a perfect example is when I sold those 2 Bitcoins in 2014 when it went down. And I might have thought I did a good thing, because for the next 6 months I bought it like 600 and I sold it like 400 like 3 months later. It went down all the way to like 200, 250. And it wasn't until like late 2015, 2016 before it started coming back. So, but I think as an investment strategy, what would have been smart is just to invest a small amount that I could have afforded to lose into Bitcoin every month. Even if that was like $20, that $20 times like 12 months of when it was down, that alone would have been a Bitcoin when it was at 240, right? So
yeah, that was what I had originally started out in crypto doing. is of course I was one of the Coinbase babies, as somebody talks about other channels. I'm not dropping any names, but they're like, Coinbase is so bad and toxic for crypto. But I actually think Coinbase opens an avenue for a lot of like casual people that would never get into crypto. So yeah. I got into it through Coinbase, and I set a buy, and I was doing a weekly buy of $10. Okay. Yeah, $10 of each, $10 of Bitcoin, Ethereum, nice. Litecoin. The only one that really actually did really well, of course, was Litecoin.
Ethereum.
Litecoin. Well, Litecoin and Ethereum, but
because you were probably buying multiple Litecoins each week.
Yeah. So I had at one time, before I sold off to buy more hardware, I originally profited off of the that jump from when Litecoin was like $30-$40, and it jumped up to like $300. I sold a lot of my Litecoin off. I held some of it, of course, because fear of missing out. Oh, it's gonna keep going; it'll never stop. Yeah. So, but I still to this day have a $10 buy of each of them every single week. So out of
that's
them,
smart.
Yeah. What, 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm buying $120 a month of crypto, and I don't even notice it come out of my bank account. If it goes up, cool. Great. Like if it goes down, oh well, it just is what it is. But as for like crypto, we're getting, I get off track easy when we got talking about any kind of coins. Do you plan on building any dedicated mining rigs? I know you said you do the hybrid kind of. You got your system.
I had planned on it. Like right now, I just don't have enough money to like just go aside and set that into it right now. So I was talking about maybe going in halves with a friend and putting like a 6-card rig. But at that time, like this was maybe a month ago or maybe a few weeks ago, we just couldn't find anything, and everyone was trying to build a rig at that time. So
yeah,
at this point, no. I think I'm definitely going to keep mining with what I have, maybe add another card gradually. But yeah, so I mean, with the prices so low, like it's kind of hard to be as like enthusiastic about it. Like when everyone's just making it rain. I mean, It went up. Bitcoin went up from like 12,000 to like 17,000 in one day, and I remember I bought like $100 at like 16,900 because I'm like it could go to like 30,000 right now, like. But no, I think in the long run it's going to rebound. It's done this so many times before. It could go down to 1,000, but then it could go up and surpass previous highs. I think it will. My goal is to have like 5,000 in crypto at the end of the year. So right now I'm making around, like 100 to 200. It's hard to tell because it varies so much a month just off mining. So with that staving up, that should be a good amount. But if Bitcoin maintains, I'll probably have to add some of my own fiat, either in terms of investing it into crypto or into more cards to then, build up the passive income.
Definitely. And I'm not sure about where you live in your area, but is it actually crypto friendly? Because I'm in North Carolina, and there's there's 2 Bitcoin ATMs that are, maybe an hour from me, but there's literally like nobody that accepts it in my area for like any kind of service or anything.
Yeah. So I don't know of too many like places I can go buy Bitcoin, like shops, but being in California, Southern California, there's a lot of technology, especially like up in the Bay Area. I know there's probably a lot more. I don't know, what could I say?
Well, I guess the question I was trying to lead up to is, have you actually used Bitcoin to buy anything?
No, I mean, like in a roundabout way, I used it to buy my GPU, right? Like I had value in crypto. All I did was exchange it for USD, then to buy it on Amazon. If Amazon accepted crypto directly, obviously I would have just bought it using those funds right then and there.
Yeah.
So I think it's only a matter of time.
It definitely is. I was just wondering, because the only thing I've managed to buy with crypto is through Newegg. And it wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly what I would call as a smooth service. It's actually a little scary because there's kind of like a transition time where it's kind of like lost in the blockchain. Well, not really. It's just transferring.
Yeah.
But Bitcoin transfers so slowly, so it's just kind of like hanging in limbo, waiting for confirmation. But I was just curious if you had.
I think paying with Bitcoin is probably not going to become mainstream. Like I said, I think Bitcoin will be mostly a longer term store of wealth. Kind of like the dollar standard of crypto, like Ethereum. I was sending some from Coinbase to Binance, and it's pretty cool because like it starts telling you how many confirmations on the network saw that transaction, and then like once it hits a certain number after like 10 minutes or something, it's confirmed, and and it's inexpensive compared to like the Bitcoin transactions we're getting up to like $40-50, which is
yeah, it was getting insane.
Ridiculous.
Well, since you said you're actually a Binance user, I also use Binance. Did you get a little scared or you feel uneasy when they just recently went basically offline and online for, I don't know, it was a couple, almost 3 or 4 days in a row?
Oh gosh, I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah, that actually just happened, and they just actually went back online. And now if you're in the US, there's actually a new domain that they want you to access through, and I believe it's us.binance.com, I believe how it goes. I'm not 100% sure. I just logged back into my Binance. It was yesterday or the day before, but yeah, Binance was down for a while, almost 4 days. A lot of people were, of course, spreading some rumors, either hacked or this or that or the other.
Like if it's a Ponzi or something.
Yeah, of course. They, after the big BitConnect fall, everybody's super worried about everything.
Speaking of BitConnect, this reminds me.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to log into Binance right now, but remember that time I said that I posted a video that had like no audio, and you actually commented on it. You're like, "Oh, there's no audio."
Yeah.
That video I did was a parody of this company that like emailed me called Lendex Coin, and apparently like they were having an ICO. It might have just been a complete scam altogether. Like once I signed up for the account, like they try to use my password to log into like Coinbase or other accounts, but it's the same kind of concept, but they just like put a different spin on it. Like instead of saying like earn 1% daily, they're like earn up to 45% monthly through lending of coin. Buy low, sell high. It was just a total scam. Like, oh, and you can earn up to 2,000 Lendex coins for promoting our video on your YouTube channel. Like, do at least 3 or 4 videos, and I'm like, this is just such a scam, and that's why I posted it. I was posting a video like being funny about the fact like, oh, Lendex coin, it can make you a millionaire, like.
Yeah, I've actually I have gotten a lot of those like scammy ICO emails to my Brandon Coin like official email, and it is by far like they want you to push their scam, so to speak. And I've only entered in. Have you entered into any of the high yips or high yield, kind of like BitConnect or?
Oh no.
I did.
If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah,
I mean,
in the beginning, before I did any mining, of course, I jumped into a couple of those, and the worst part about it is I actually made a little bit of money. So then it made me feel more confident, and then I dump a little bit more into it. Luckily, I only lost maybe a couple $100, but I joined on to one called BitPetite. That was one, months back. Yeah, and that was kind of like following along the whole BitConnect thing. But now, any lending or percentage payouts, or even like a lot of these cloud mining services, they're not even any mining going on. It's just, there's no back end. It's just a Ponzi all up front. And so I tell people, they ask me all the time, do you recommend this? Do you think it's okay? There's a lot, like Genesis Mining, a lot of people were, like up in the air. Do they actually have any machines in the background? And, I'm not going to comment if they do or if they don't. It's just, that's why I always refer back to, actually mining yourself. You can control it, you can see it, you can see if it's working, if it's not, and you can actually do it. Not everybody has that availability, but in the days right now, this is still the Wild West for crypto. It can all be gone in a minute. Like it can be insane with how fast you can make it or lose it.
One thing that this is just speculation though, but one thing that I heard is at the same time NiceHash went offline, Genesis kind of went offline at the same time too, which kind of indicated that NiceHash was like Genesis was acting as a buyer of NiceHash's service to fulfill mining contracts. What are your thoughts on that? Did you hear anything about that?
Yeah, I have not even heard about that. Of course, there was a lot of speculation and like rumors going around when NiceHash went down, but I know a lot of people have actually tried to go to Genesis, and apparently now they have video of their actual systems running, but some people are doing rough calculations and saying like there's no way that you can pack enough systems inside of
for what they're saying.
Yeah, inside of the square footage of area that they're renting. Like people have like Google mapped it. And
I think it's totally cool if they are actually supplementing. I think maybe what they have is a hybrid approach. So think of it like any other web service. If you have a big app, you don't have just 100 servers in your garage. Like you go to Amazon Web Services, you spin up a few VMs. If it's not enough, you spin up a few more. So it's more scalable, right? So like I think it's actually, it could be a good part of the ecosystem if they are using NiceHash. It would be nice to know if they're more transparent about that. Because NiceHash you order in large amounts like by a day, whereas Genesis it's like more spread out over the years. So they are kind of doing you a service in that regards of managing it. But do you have any specific comments on Hashflare?
Hashflare, I've gotten a lot of people wanting me to enter into it to do like a review on it. I have not even touched it yet. I don't know if it works or doesn't work. Or have
you seen the YouTube channel This Is Mining?
I have, yes. I've watched some of his stuff before.
His stuff is pretty good. He's also growing pretty fast, and he started the NiceHash challenge, and I think it was something ridiculous. Like he was already 50% paid back after like 2 weeks, but then the price had gone up. So, and he is saying that it's like just from the mining, like not anything from affiliate payouts, which I'm sure he's probably getting a decent amount of. But yeah, I don't know. Like you said, it's nicer to actually see what you got, and at the end of the day, if it all goes to shit, you at least have something that you can use to game on or sell to someone else to game on, as opposed to just numbers.
Yeah, I actually get that comment or that question a lot. Like, what are you gonna do when all this stuff crashes? And my funny like quick response is, man, I'm gonna build gaming computers for all my friends. Like we're gonna be able to play whatever we want.
A huge LAN center.
yeah, we're gonna set up a big old LAN party. In reality, of course, I try to sell off a majority of them, keep the cards that I like. I don't know about you, but I like to be very hands-on, so I actually enjoy putting together some of these systems. Some of them are very basic, and of course, as time goes on, you learn and you can hone your skills, is one way to put it. But there's nothing quite like touching and feeling and seeing the heat come off of them, having them crash, having to actually deal with them. Dealing with the problems is half the fun. So because when it's successful and running and it's like, man, it just ran for like 24 hours, no issues. That's a nice feeling, especially when you've been having problem after problem. And that's another kind of show that I want to get into, or series, is like common mining problems. Because I've noticed there's a lot of people that have like, I have the fix for this or the fix for that. But it'd be nice to find like one playlist that I could just go through and just kind of watch. And that's actually one thing I wanted to ask you about on your YouTube channel. I know because it's so diverse. Have you been thought about a way to actually playlist everything out to keep it separated? Because I've noticed you've done some reviews and a little bit of crypto stuff. Is that how you plan on just throwing? Yeah,
right now I'm just organizing it by playlist, and Yeah, and I don't know. I'm probably shooting myself in the foot by not create. I've had people recommend like create an Airbnb channel, create a crypto channel, but it's just like my time is so limited. I don't like. Then that's more Facebook accounts and Twitter accounts. Like I just want to be me and just do whatever it is that I'm interested in. If tomorrow it's like underwater basket weaving, then you can bet I'll be doing videos of underwater basket weaving. Like why do I want to like just pigeonhole myself into something that I may not be interested in a few years? And if my channel's growth like suffers because of it, like that's okay. That's just what I'm going to accept. But I think, you know, if the right person identifies with me as a person, and I can create interesting content about my experience about A or B, then they'll be interested. And if they're just interested in A or just interested in B, then they can just watch those videos.
Yeah.
Then maybe they're not even a subscriber, but maybe they'll just watch those videos, or maybe there'd be a way to like subscribe to a specific playlist or something. I don't know.
Yeah, almost now, like nowadays, to get any kind of measurable success on YouTube, you have to almost fill a void or make a personality, make a personal brand. On mine, I actually was shooting for the complete opposite of what you're doing. I just wanted quick, fast data, raw, like unscripted, just it is what it is. And it's almost turned into a brand now. And now I'm trying to like go into those avenues that you're talking about with the Facebook and the Instagram and getting, you know, a website set up for it. That's why I was just wondering, like, are you planning on still keeping it all one channel and just playlisting it out, or separating it up? So it's nice to hear your take on it too. You're kind of like, I wish I would have started out the way you were now, because maybe I could have my car channel and my crypto channel, have it all together.
No, I think you're doing all right by having it separate. You know, like I said, I'm probably doing it the wrong way, but I've just never been afraid to do something the wrong way. You know.
There's no
like in some regards,
there's no wrong way. So
if they're telling you that you're doing something wrong, then you're doing something right. You know. So, yeah, I think both ways are valid, like you said.
Yeah, and just to be able to, for content ways, having it not split up, I can see a huge advantage because you don't pigeonhole yourself. And currently, right now, like if I don't have anything that actually relates to crypto, I can't put it on my crypto channel just because I've built it up and I've set people up to only
people
expect
have come
that.
to expect that. Yeah.
Yeah, and on my car channel, I can only put car content on there because they, you know, it's concrete. This is a car channel.
You need to create a car that has like graphics cards under the hood or something, and just have a hybrid.
I do have some viewers that have transferred over, and they're like, you know, what kind of mega hash are you getting out of that car right there? And I'm like, yeah, okay. And or they'll be like, how much horsepower is on that graphics card on my other channel? So it's nice to see some people are like transcending back and forth. But it's you know, I do other things too, so it would be nice to. I'm actually really curious to see how your channel grows when you put more, like, you know, more time into it. Right now, obviously, I watched a lot of your Airbnb stuff, and that really kind of excited me. But in my area, it doesn't make any kind of sense because there's no tourism or traffic, and it's it's away from any main roads. That's one thing I did want to ask you about. Some of my crypto viewers may be interested in it also, is can you give them a rough, quick rundown of what Airbnb is?
Okay, so Airbnb, like you said it perfectly, it's like mining for your house. Yeah. So you know, it's just sitting there hashing away, and you know, all I do is I started out renting a spare bedroom in my house. It was the guest room. Full disclosure, my fiance was out on maternity leave, and so, you know, we lost that income, and so I'm like, hey, let's just, you know, start renting this room out. I rent a 4-bedroom house in California, so the rent is pretty damn high. It's like $2,100 a month. And, you know, I'm still young. I'm still starting out. Like, I have a job and all that, but like that was kind of a lot of my paycheck. So I'm like, let me just start renting out to subsidize. And that just kind of slowly grew. Became more successful. I started like in 2015. Late 2016. Did it all last year, and then like middle of last year, I purchased my first home, like a condo, just to do Airbnb in. And I've been Airbnb-ing that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So like it helped not only bridge the gap of like replacing lost income, but like even grew to where we were saving more, and it was successful enough to actually buy a home. It's just a small 2-bedroom starter condo, but that ran like 350. So
Oh wow.
I borrowed a little bit of money from my Roth IRA. I've been investing in that since I was like 18. So I was able to just pull out the principal without any penalty or without having to pay it back. And just, I wanted to diversify some of my, 401k into like real estate. So that's been doing good. I talk about that a lot on my channel. And I kind of like the idea of passive income, and I like traveling. I like talking to people like I'm talking to you now. So like it kind of just identifies well with me. But yeah, I think you'd be surprised. You get maybe people like there's definitely a need, and especially that it's growing. It's a good business to get into.
Yeah. So I didn't realize it when I was watching your videos. So like I've seen your spare bedroom, but you have the condo also, and I thought those were actually like in your house, other rooms. So you got 2 rigs right now, essentially hashing away.
Yeah, I got 2 rigs. Yeah.
So just curious, because I'm actually, I don't think there's anybody near me that does Airbnb. How did you find out about that? And like what made you pull the trigger on it to let people like come into your house and stay?
Yeah. So I had known about it for a long time, and I'd always been interested in it. And I had actually created the account and kind of went through the process of what listing would look like, and kind of went through it, but never actually went live with the listing, like a full year before I actually even started.
Mm-hmm.
So like in hindsight, I probably should have just started and just went with it, right?
Yeah.
Even if it was imperfect. But, eventually what got me to do it was my mom was traveling for work, and she was staying at my house while she was here for business. And so her company was reimbursing me for, saving them money. So they would save some money over a hotel, and I would, make some money, to help out. And I thought it'd be more professional to actually do it through Airbnb. So there's an invoice and everything's legit. So I did that, and the listing was live. And then I got a request from a random girl, and I had to like completely talk my fiance, she was my girlfriend at the time, into it. Like, and it was a girl, she was just going to be here for the weekend. So we're like, hey, let's just do it. It's $50 a night. I don't quite charge that much now, but like there was a conference in town, so there was a lot of demand, and no hotels were open. It was her first time at Airbnb. It was our first time hosting someone random. So, but once we got over it, like it became second nature. And I mean, we've hosted over like 100 people in the last year, and it's done really well. So
yeah, that actually, bringing up your spouse leads me into probably one of my last questions. But so she got over the Airbnb. Once somebody starts seeing money come back in, it's a lot easier to get over things. My girlfriend, she's been living with me for over a year now, and we have a small house. And she's starting to see a lot more of these these things show up around the house, and she hasn't been able to see the gains yet because I'm reinvesting everything back into it. Have you told your spouse that you're mining a little bit, so the electricity may be a little higher?
Okay, that's a good point. We did talk about that. She hasn't really noticed it yet because I'm only really pushing 2 cards, so the wattage is not that high. My power bill starts at 16 cents per kilowatt hour. Oh. Once I reach a certain number of usage, it jumps up to 24 cents in tier 2.
Oh my goodness.
And then like 26, or it gets up to like 30 cents a kilowatt hour. Like I said, it just starts at 16.
Wow.
So
okay.
In the winter, I'm like in that base tier, but in the summer, that electricity of the air conditioning is going to put me probably, I mean, plus I have 4-bedroom house, 2-story. I'm doing Airbnb, so like they're using power. I game. I don't game as much as I did, but like right now my computer's on, so it's a lot of usage. And if I get into that second tier, it's probably going to be more profitable to just turn off mining. I'll have to do the calculations to see if there's any room for profit. I'll leave it on.
Yeah.
But if I'm in that second tier, it doesn't really matter if I use that at the beginning of the month and then the air conditioning push it over at the end. Anywhere I can save, it's going to actually shave off, out of that higher tier. So, but yeah, she totally sees it as like fake money. She's like, it's just, she doesn't really get it. Like I bought her like $100 of crypto. I set her up with a Coinbase account. So like she has some, and she's like, no, like don't spend it or sell it or anything. But like, and she always giving me crap now. She's like, you bought a $300 graphics card. I'm like, I bought it with crypto.
Yeah.
Like it didn't affect us. And even I sold it and then it came back. So like, I put some money back into the checking account. So, but I don't know. She just likes giving me a hard time.
Yeah, I talked
to. I can totally see she must love you because look at all those rigs, man.
Yeah, well, she deals with them. Right now, I'm in the room that's my it's a spare bedroom, but we moved the bed upstairs for a little while, and this turned into my little office man cave. There's a couch behind me, and then there's a TV up on the wall in front of me, and it was just kind of like video games, and this is where I would make my car channel videos, and then it kind of just turned into like these things started popping up. But it got too hot in here when I was actually running all of them. So right now with both of these, I have a fan blowing on me, and the AC in the house is running, and my door is wide open. It's like mid 60 degrees Fahrenheit outside, but in this room it feels like 80 maybe. Like it is hot. I don't know about on your side of the world over there, other side of US, but trying to keep these things running is going to be a nightmare in the summertime. Yeah. That's why I got to get them out of here.
That'll be really nice to have your office set up. I don't know about over there, but over here, industrial rates are actually much more affordable. They're more in line with the rest of the country, like 12 cents for industry rates, and you can use as much practically as you want. They really just, Southern California Edison, I mean, it's just a monopoly, like what are you going to do?
Yeah, actually, it's even less than that. My home rate is 9 cents per kilowatt, and there's no tiers. It just use as much as you want. But the office I'm going to is going to be in the range of 5.9 cents per kilowatt, so about 6 cents. Yeah, and that's actually a big reason why I'm switching, because the more I'm using, the more I'm consuming in power will make up for the actual rent, and I'll have my own I want to set it up to be professional, and you get out what you put in kind of thing. So I definitely want to push it as hard as I can within reason. But the biggest reason I got to get these out of my house is because of the heat. My girlfriend did see the recent electricity bill, which I was pushing the cards a little hard, so I had the power turned up on them. I had the overclocks a little heavy, just because I was trying to get some good rates out of them. I've since dialed them back a little bit. But
what's your electricity bill?
The last one we just got was $400, which I don't know.
Holy shit!
I don't know about for you, but that's pretty high for us. Normally, my electricity bill floats around $200 because I have electric heat. I don't have gas heat. So
see, I don't run the heater in California.
Oh.
But my electricity bill in the winter, it's around 100.
Yeah. Okay.
125 maybe, and then in the summer, like with AC and gaming, it can go as high as like 350. But like for 100, like if it's 100 plus degrees, like almost every day, like 350 is not that bad.
Wow. Yeah. Normally,
but like that's without mining. So like I'm probably gonna have to turn off my rig because it's just really expensive here.
Yeah, I've figured it out, and on average, the 1060s, that should add up to about an extra $40 to $50 a month. The 1050s are about an extra, 20 to 30. So everything I have in total, I'm cutting about anywhere from 100 to 150, and I just like to keep know that. So that's why my electricity's high, and also on this side of the U.S., we just went through a very cold winter. I don't know, you said you don't have to use heat very much, but over here, normally in North Carolina, our temperatures stabilize and stay in the 30s to 40s range. We don't have to winterize anything normally, but I'm so glad I winterized my boat this year, because there was almost a solid week that was under freezing the whole week. We actually set a record for North Carolina this year, because it was in the teens for days, and we're not. I mean, even here, we're not used to that. So
so you are getting some of that money back in terms of the rigs are heating your house, but of course, now it's going to get hot.
Yeah. So they haven't been a nuisance up until a couple days ago when it started to warm back up. If it's 60 degrees outside and I'm not running AC, it's easily 70s inside. So it's getting hard to regulate it. And I bought an older house, so it's got an older AC unit, and it already has a hard enough time without any mining. Because last year I didn't mine any, and AC, you know, it pumps along pretty much all day long, every day. So that's why I gotta get these things out of here. But
you know what they need to make is like a air conditioning compressor that is a GPU, so you can mine.
Yeah.
In the summer while keeping your house cold, and mine in the winter while keeping your house warm.
Yeah, I cannot remember the name of the YouTuber, but I looked at his setup, and he has a basement downstairs, and he has some ducting coming off of his AC and his heat unit. It's all together. It's a full electric unit, and it goes through this duct and goes into this closet, and he has all his GPUs in this closet, and then he's got his return coming from the closet going to the house. So in the summertime, he has straight AC blowing straight into that room before it goes anywhere else. So he can still, you know, normalize some of the like the AC on the rigs before it goes anywhere else. He said it actually makes it still cold in the house, but in the wintertime is where he gains the huge benefit of just turning the blower on and blowing the air through and getting all that heat off of the cards straight to his house. Because like right now, you know, there for a while, I moved one of my rigs into the kitchen to help equalize some of the heat in the house, like the displacement. Because like in the back of the house, it was super warm. In the front of the house, it was like really cold. And of course, my thermostat was picking up the back side of the house. So my thermostat, I'd have to like turn my temperature up to like, oh, I want it to be 75 in here when I really only want it to be 70, just to help it equalize. But you know, that's minor problems. So literally minor. I get it. So I'm just gonna keep the ball rolling. And a lot of people that have commented, I don't know if you get this or not, but they want me to have a more like professional background. And I've actually looked into like the, you know, big cardboard boxes where you can slide it over and just paint it and make yourself a DIY green screen. Have you thought about doing anything like that?
I've thought about it. For your channel, I don't think it really makes a huge difference. Especially once you get your office, you'll probably have your own room set up with like the rigs in the background. That will definitely give it a much more professional appeal. For me, like a lot of my videos, I'm just like kind of like yours, right? It's just in the corner, you know?
Yeah, you're featuring or showing something else.
Yeah, you know, I'm in my garage, so it's not as. It could be better, you know. Like my garage kind of gets filled with stuff from time to time, but I was filming in the desk in my bedroom with the bedroom as the backdrop, which was kind of nice. But then I had to like make sure it was all clean and stuff, and then fiance was kind of getting mad, like us showing our bedroom, you know, like she's kind of very personal, and I'm like kind of very open about everything, which it's kind of hard to do, but you know.
Oh yeah,
it's nice, you know, because then I don't have to worry about like if she wants to go to bed and I'm trying to film, you know. It just makes it easier for me to produce content, you know, by not giving a fuck what the background looks like, at least for right now. And if I get to a point where I want a green screen and make it more professional, then I will. But you know, why stop that in the meantime?
Oh, of course, yeah. My significant other, she'll be on the couch in the background, and she's like, you know, try to keep it to where your chair blocks me. She, you know, she doesn't mind being in a video, but she doesn't want to be like, you know,
in the video.
Yeah, like just like doing whatever and get caught in there. So I understand where yours is coming from. Mine's also the same way. She's like, you know, if you're gonna record anything, record it in your room because it's always a mess in there. I don't want.
Have you tried to get her into mining?
She wants
into crypto.
She wants nothing to do with it. She's like, if it makes money, I like it. But otherwise, you know, I support you from a distance, kind of like that kind of, you know, take.
Because I was gonna say that'd be pretty interesting content to like watch you make a customized girl rig, you know.
Yeah, I was really trying to get her to. I think I might have her talked into me making a video with her showing how to build a system, and I want to set up a system and explain it to someone that's never done it before, which is perfect because she's never done it before and she knows nothing about it. So I want that kind of video up because I haven't really encountered anything like that. Everybody assumes you have some basic level of computer knowledge, and so I want to give, like, you know, dummies guide to assembling a mining rig, so to speak, because that's one thing I imagine there's a lot of people out there that, you know, they're not comfortable with just slapping a motherboard down and plugging some stuff in, because it looks intimidating. It looks very intimidating, but it's not at all. It's Legos.
Yeah. If you did that, I'd watch it. So speaking of significant others, I probably should get going here pretty soon. I know you probably got to work super early. Thanks for staying up so late and making this happen.
Yeah, that's no problem. And we could probably do this again and also maybe incorporate some more people. So if anybody has any suggestions on my channel, please drop it down in the comments. And don't forget to go out to Zack's channel. I will leave his link in my description, because there was a full 30 or 45 minutes in the beginning that was just straight content for his channel. So y'all will definitely be interested in that. But I think we're going to end it off right here. Thank you, Zack. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, Brandon. You're the man. I appreciate it.
No problem. Fun. I'm actually going to stop mine right now.